Here with Eric Vincent for your favorite Detroit sports show, Beyond the Box, where we have a wide receiver that has gotten into some trouble. Eric,
Hmm.
we are
Hmm.
3 days away from the
All right.
draft as well, so this is going to be our final draft show before our live show on Thursday night, which is guaranteed going to be fun. But listen, we've got to talk about Jameson Williams, the impact that that's going to have on the Detroit Lions, and are there too many red flags that are starting to creep up? We're going to get into all of that and one final mock draft tonight on Beyond the Box. We're ready to hit it. Eric, you ready to hit it?
I'm ready.
I
Jamo,
know
I
you're
got you,
ready.
dog. I
I
got
know
you. Let's
you're
do
ready.
this.
Beyond the Box coming at you right now. All right, so let's jump right into it talking about Jamo. But before we do that, I just want to remind you about Super Stickers and Super Chat. It's right down there with the money sign. If you want to support this show and local creators, make sure that your message is heard with Super Chat and Super Stickers. And also, you're going to see QR codes right here from gearupdetroit.shop. Make sure you check those out. There's swag all over the place, ready for you to get geared up for this draft coming up on Thursday. But Eric, Jameson Williams, who missed a significant portion of the time his rookie season, is now going to be missing 6 games in 2023 because my man gambled from inside an NFL facility, which is against the rules.
It is.
My question, and the way I want to start this off, and I want everybody's thoughts in the chat because we need you to sound off on this, so drop those comments.
Talk to us, chat.
Is this being overblown? Or
Yes.
is there serious trouble here with Jameson Williams?
This is being widely overblown. And I want to be very clear on where I'm going to do my Stephen A's. I want to be very clear on where I stand on this issue. I'm not giving Jameson Williams a pass.
Okay.
I believe what he did is very dumb.
Yes.
There is a rule that states NFL players, coaches, GM personnel, you cannot bet on games on NFL property. You're just not allowed to do it. And maybe there are some adjustments that need to be made to the rule, but I'm okay with it. Players cannot be betting on the industry that they play in. I'm just not for it. I can't give Jamo a pass for that. However, that's where it should start. But everything else around Jameson Williams right now has been, he's a diva. Was it a mistake drafting him? Is he worth the trouble? All of this garbage being spewed about this man. And again, let's be clear. I'm going to keep putting this disclaimer out. I'm not giving him a pass for what he did. But these notions that he's a problem all of a sudden, that we should have used the pick somewhere else. He's not the culture of this team, whatever. We don't know those to be true yet. We don't know that yet. I believe it's been wildly overblown. I have more reasons why, but I'll just answer the question now. Yes, it's been wildly overblown.
I agree that it's been overblown. Okay. It feels like strike 2, though. And I don't know why. It's not. I want to be very clear. But, like, when the hammer dropped the other day, I was like, is this strike? Like, this feels like strike 2. It's not strike 2. This is really only strike 1. And to address Cody's thing here, like, why is everybody talking about Jamo last year when he wasn't even scheduled to play for the year? Like, Cody, you're 100% correct. But that has to be brought up in the conversation when he will not even have played a full season within 2 years. Yes, he was injured. Yes, that was beyond his control. I have no problem with that whole aspect of it.
Okay.
I also have no problem with the whole gambling thing. Like, if you're going to choose to gamble, it's your money. Do what you want with it, right? You and I have readily said we don't gamble because we just, like, I have somewhat of a philosophy that I tend to work too hard for my money, that I'm not just going to spend it like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't want to cast him as this diva. Yes, we've talked about that before because he was kind of acting like that, right?
No, not right.
Hold on. He was a little bit on the sidelines when he was throwing his little pity party that one game, and we talked about it and we addressed it. Relax. Let me get to my point.
Go ahead. You got it. This is your moment.
There's a little bit of concern. I'm not writing him off. I'm not worried about, like, does he fit with this team or anything like this. But there is a little bit of concern from my end. Because there's a lot of things that have transpired. Then we have talked about this. The whole liking the tweet of Lamar in Detroit, right? The moment that Jeff Okudah's gone, he's like, I need that number, right? Like, hold on a second. Those are minuscule things, but small things tend to add up to large things. And I just start to question. I'm not drawing a conclusion. I'm not even answering the question, but I'm just a little concerned that Jamo is for Jamo first and foremost.
Oh man.
That's a concern. Is that not a concern?
It's not, but let me just ask you a quick question just to get the layers correct.
Okay.
So I saw a tweet of I don't want to say who. I just saw a tweet and a video of certain media personalities talking about how they also had a problem with Jameson Williams going up to Aaron Rodgers in the last game and trying to get his jersey.
No, that's stupid.
Where did you stand on that?
Go for it. Look,
you didn't have a problem with that? Okay.
Not at all. Listen, I got a friend that played in the MLB. He literally has a jersey collection. Now, he didn't necessarily go up and ask those guys for those jerseys, but why, if you're Jamo, a rookie in the league, one of your games is against one of the better quarterbacks for the recent memory, why would you not try to go and jersey swap with him? That's the worst talking point I've ever heard in my entire life. That's
really stupid.
If you want to add that to the heap of concern, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was a lot of that, and I didn't understand it at all. But is Jamo? So again, for one, you already set it up for where you are building him up if it's a diva. He's already on strike 2. If there's no strike 1,
no. I said it felt like strike 2.
How does it feel like it?
I don't know. Why did I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's all this stuff that previous to it, but to be clear, this is strike 1. And I think that he does need to right the ship a little bit.
Sure. He can get right.
Yeah. It was just personal feelings being publicly expressed, Eric. That's all it was, because I felt like it was strike 2, even though logically in my mind I knew last year he was out. We knew that it was injury. That's not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
The antics on the sideline, okay, everybody gets emotional. I get that. Maybe I overblew that at the beginning, which you like to point out, right?
You did,
because I'm the only one that needs correction on this show. You never.
That's right. I'm flawless out here, Beyonce.
But it just all of that. You know, he's been in the news for the wrong like we've talked about him for what seems like the wrong reasons, and maybe all that felt like strike 1, even though it was not. It was not strike 1. This was strike 1.
Yes, we're on the same page with that, but I don't think that's being framed. And I think even with the tidbits of mentioning the sideline or like just the other things that people be freaking out about, even the Lamar Jackson thing, yes, it doesn't look great, but is that something that's going to destroy a locker room? Nah, not at all. Like I hate the world of the NFL where receivers.
I don't think wasn't Ricky the one that was arguing about Goff being okay? Was he not the one that went to blows with me about Jared Goff, and now he's sitting here like, what's the controversy? Lamar's better. Like, make up your mind, Ricky.
I think he'll give us the context. I'll wait for that follow up. But I don't like this labeling for Jamo. Like, yes, are there things that he can do to handle the situations that he's been in better? Sure. But do I think it equals a diva label for him in any way at this point? No. He's a young kid that's made mistakes. He's coming off, again, in a situation where when he was playing, it was mad sporadic through the possessions. It was one play per possession. He would sit on the field or sit on the sideline, and they would treat him terribly. And again, it didn't seem like him and Goff had the best rapport, to his blame as well as Goff. I'm not going to say it's one or the other, but to me, you want a receiver that's fiery. I do, at least. Like, what quiet receiver outside Calvin Johnson like has produced like a superstar?
The greatest receiver of all time, Calvin Johnson?
Yeah, again, outside of the GOAT, if that's the standard we going on, then fine. But outside of that, look at all the greats who have been problematic. If you want to look at the guys, especially when they've done worse things in their history, look at Michael Irvin for what he's done. Like, there's been plenty of guys who have been true problems outside of what Jamo is doing that really is not been as should not be as overblown as the way it is for now for Jamo.
But you're going to the label of problematic, right?
Yeah.
Which is what people are calling it. Sure. Okay. There's cause for concern, and I just want to keep using that phrase. I think that there's, you're not like dead set and going, I'm pigeonholing you into this is what you are. But I feel like the ears perk up a little bit now.
To me, I feel like this is what you did with Anthony Richardson last week. So I've seen it in the comments. Like, these aren't issues that aren't correctable. Like, unless he's Allen Iverson and he's addicted to gambling.
Sure.
I don't think that's the case, at least from what we've known at this point.
Do you know where he was Saturday night?
Hey. He's having a good time at the fight.
Listen,
enjoying himself. Good for him.
And there is truth to the fact that this kid is young 20s. He's been handed a lot of money, and he's living his life.
And the mistakes aren't addicting. Like, again, he's not getting DUIs. He's not putting his hands on women. He's not addicted to drugs. He made one mistake with some teammates, some veterans, some employees. If I'm not mistaken, were there coaches that were also involved in this?
No coaches, staff members.
Just staff members. Okay, got you.
But they were fired like months ago.
As they should have been. Absolutely. Yep. And even the players who were. Cephas was let go, and the other two lines as well. So I'm fine with that. But in terms of Jameson Williams, I think this is mad overblown. These are not things that are not correctable. They're not things that I think are going to kill him on the field. I think he'll be just fine when he gets back in the right graces with the team. He'll be fine.
I think so too. And I want to believe, like, everybody deserves a chance, right? Like, listen, if I was judged by the mistakes I made when I was in my early 20s, I wouldn't be sitting here today, right? Same thing would probably go for you. Same thing would go for anybody in the chat. I want to be very careful that I'm not coming across as he's done, I'm done with him. That's not the case. Mm-hmm. It's not the case at all. I want him to be the best receiver in the league. I do.
Yeah, but you also didn't like him being here from the start.
I didn't. That's correct. Yeah. And I won't back down from that. That is correct. I did not like the move to trade up for a wide receiver that couldn't play last year.
Okay.
It does give me cause for concern. Okay. Which I think I'm justified in being concerned a little bit because the production doesn't meet the draft slot right now. Again, not his fault because of last year and being injured. Exactly. So I was reserving a lot of my judgment for this year, which now I'm kind of like, I can't even really do that because there's going to be 6 games that he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've kicked the can farther down the road for him, right? And it just, there's going to be a lot, I think, answers that are made or given during the 6 games that he's off. How involved is he in the preparation? Is he at OTAs? Is he at training camp? Because he can participate in those things until the final roster is set. Mm-hmm. Once the final roster is set, he's no longer allowed to be around the team. So how are those 6 weeks going to go? And then what is he going to be like when he gets back week 7? Right?
Yeah.
And that's going to say, if we want to say like the 6 weeks following his suspension is going to answer a lot of questions about who Jamo is.
It will.
This is a defining moment for him. Let's be very clear.
For sure.
It's a mistake. For sure it's a mistake, but it's definitely a defining moment. Like, who are you going to be?
I agree. I just don't think people are giving him the ability to
make
correct that mistake. I think we're living in an era now, and it's not even us. I mean, we on microphones, but fans are doing it now. They're putting narratives out of how he's already this, and people want to stand on their takes and be right. And I can't rock with that. Ricky was a perfect child. I bet you were, man. But I don't look at this as, again, people try to put the stake in him already to already have his label and his story written. We don't have enough information on that yet. Let the kid grow from what he's done. Was he wrong? Absolutely. Again, I do have a problem with him doing. Players should not be betting on anything. Like, that's how I take it. I don't like the idea of big money controlling sports where we want to think that everything is just organic. I don't like the idea of that. So for that, I'm not cool with it. However, his story is not written yet. Let the kid grow from what he's done.
Yes.
Yeah, see there, Cody's 100% right. People absolutely just packed up.
And I'm trying to do that, right? I am.
You're trying.
I want the kid to grow. I want the kid to grow, but we also have the right to be concerned.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
There's a little reason for concern, but he comes back. He plays well. We got no other issues. He learns from it. I told the kids all the time when I taught at school, mistakes are only mistakes if you fail to learn from them.
Right.
That's all they are.
Right.
And this is a mistake. So this is a learning opportunity for Jamo. He was wrong. He should have walked across the street to place a bet instead of doing it from the team facility, because then he would be in no trouble at all. I just want to see the growth. And I think that everybody would agree with that, right? It's growth. And the question then becomes, before we get into our mock draft, because we're going to get to that, does this impact the draft strategy for the Lions? And how do you think it impacts the first 6 games? Like, are they a team that's going to go 3-3? Are they a team that's going to go 2-4? Are they going to go 5-1? I personally don't think it's going to make that much of a difference for them. I think they go, and we don't really know exactly how the schedule's laid out.
Right.
But 4-2, 5-1, 3-3 is the floor.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not against that at all.
I don't think, like, yes, he's an impactful player, we think. I don't think it changes how those first 6 games were going to go.
I agree in terms of the first 6 games. I feel like the expectations should still be set as what it was expected before this even happened. You want the Lions to come out the exact opposite of what they did last season. You cannot open up 1-6 again. You have to, at the very least, be 3-3. I'm 100% with you.
And Jamo not being there is not an excuse to end up 1-6. We need to be clear about that. Like, this is impactful, but it's not that impactful.
But see, to me, I believe the draft strategy does change at this point. I think it does. I don't think you can come back with the same weapons you had last season. Because be clear, last season's expectation was survive the season, give us watchable football. Now it's time to win. It's time to win. Go for the NFC. Win the division. Like, it's now time to put a stamp on those kind of milestones. And I don't think you're doing that with Khalif Raymond as your number 3. You're going to have to find someone. Marvin Jones on a 1-year deal. You only got 1 more year, Josh Reynolds. And at some point, you're going to have to pay Amon-Ra again, which you said you're against even doing. So you're going to have to find somebody
if the deal's right. Answer. It depends on if the deal's right.
Yes. But to me, I think they do need to start looking at a pass catcher, not necessarily as an immediate starter for those first 6 games, but you're going to need some more juice if the goal is winning the NFC North and the NFC.
So the way you frame that, I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
However, that does not mean I'm using one of the first 4 picks for a wide receiver. Unless Quentin Johnson were to fall to, like, the 2nd round, which is not going to happen.
Right.
Okay, then it's a little bit different. But I'm for sure not trading up to get a receiver again. Right, I'm not drafting a receiver with 6 or 18. Like, Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State, I have no interest in him whatsoever.
I hear you on that.
There's plenty of people that you can get back half of the 2nd round, 3rd round. I'm not interested in spending a high draft pick again on a wide receiver because we have a receiver who's out for 6 weeks.
Did you look at receiver as a need before this instance with Jamo?
No, I figured it was on the table.
Right.
I think wide receiver is kind of always on the table, right? Because while I feel like the position is expendable, you also need wide receivers. You can't ever have too many of them to a certain extent, right? You can't have a team full of wide receivers, but you definitely need depth. And now they're hurting at depth because even though Cephas, like, that's not even a loss. Anybody that thinks that that's impactful for this team,
Nah,
not at all.
absolutely nothing.
So, like, he was maybe the 6th out of 6 receivers, right? Tom Kennedy's ahead of him.
He was horrible.
There is
horrible.
you're gonna eye guys towards that pick 55. And when we talk about our draft strategy tomorrow, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 5 because we're gonna hit the Lions draft do's and don'ts. 3 do's, 3 don'ts that they need, and we'll get into more of this. But there's plenty of wide receivers that are going to be available outside the first and second round. And Brad Holmes has struck gold with those guys. So I don't think it changes it as much as some people would say that it does, because I don't think the plans for the first 2 rounds change at all.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm not going to say it needs to be one of the first few. Like for defense, everyone's saying, okay, you got to hit defense in 2 of, or maybe even 3 of the 4 first picks. To an extent, I'm okay with that argument, but it's not a necessity in receiver terms. Like defense, you could use it. Receiver, not necessarily. However, they do need some depth in that position. However they find it, we trust Brad Holmes to find it, and we're going to look for some guys that got to play sooner than later as well. So we'll see what happens.
So with all this draft talk and the excitement of this draft talk, it's Thursday. And if you are as excited about the draft as we are, well, we have an absolute treat for you.
A big treat. Join us for our exclusive 2023 NFL Draft Live Show where your favorite analyst, AJ, yours truly, and Dylan will be breaking down each first round pick as it happens. We'll be reacting to all live. We'll be reacting live to all the drama, surprises, and the jaw-dropping moments coming up on Thursday.
Which there will be a lot of them, and we want you to be a part of it. So share your thoughts and reactions, predictions, and comments on the live stream, and we will interact with you throughout the entire show. Don't miss the chance to engage with your fellow Lions fans and your favorite sports hosts in the Detroit area to have your voice heard.
So mark your calendars. I mean, it should be marked already. It's coming up on Thursday. Yeah. Mark your calendars. Set those notifications for the 2023 NFL Draft Live Show, April 27th, just a few days away, hosted by Detroit Sports Nation. Be sure to lock in and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment of this epic event.
And we will see you there. This is going to be exciting. And since it is the last show before the live draft event, let's do one more mock draft, Eric. Let's do one more where we are, and we set parameters this time. Last time we traded.
Yeah.
But we're not going to trade this time.
Okay.
We are just going to take the draft as it comes to us.
Mm-hmm.
See how this can happen, and then everybody in the comments, feel free to drop names as you see them up on the screen as well. So we're going to go 7 round. It's going to be fast. We've got the Lions here. No trades. That is the rule. No trades at all.
Okay.
Just real quick, I want to hit this one. If I shave my head bald, can I join the show?
Yes, Cole. Yes.
Colt, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we've had people jump in the river on this show. So
yes,
if you want to shave your head, go for it.
I want to see your hair before. I want to see your
hair
before
it's got to
the
be
haircut,
a before and after picture.
You got to get that first.
And we'll get you on there. So let's jump into this live draft. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Okay. So pick 6 is coming at us. And it looks like Will Anderson is off the board. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Devin Witherspoon goes number 3. Ooh. Will Anderson goes to the Colts at 4. And then Jalen Carter goes to the Seahawks at 5. Worst case scenario for a no trade mock draft.
Nasty.
This is the worst, the absolute worst. I almost want to start over. This sucks.
This is the worst start. Oh jeez.
God bless.
Wait, is Tyree off the board? Tyree Wilson's off the board?
Tyree Wilson is not off the board.
Okay.
But it's still, this goes back to our show a couple weeks ago, right? Or like it feels like settling.
It
Doesn't
does a
it?
little bit. It does a little bit.
We asked that question, and that's exactly what this is. I'm taking Tyree Wilson. This is the only pick at 6 at this point.
Yeah, because they took all of the. I mean, at this point, you don't have a whole lot of things that you can do with that.
No,
it has to be Tyree Wilson. That's luckily he was there.
He was there. Okay. So Levis goes 7, Richardson 8, Paris Johnson, Jackson Smith Najibda, Christian Gonzalez, Peter Skronsky, Broderick Jones, Darnell Wright, the tackle. Bijan goes to the Jets and their new quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. We're not talking about him, though. We don't care about him.
No.
Nolan Smith goes 16. Miles Murphy goes 17, which means Khalid Kancey.
Yep.
That's got to be the pick.
Everything else I'm not in love with. I don't like taking Quentin Johnson at this point.
The only other question I have is Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he's even still there at that point. Tight end sitting right there. I do think they need to invest in a tight end.
Not this early.
Dan Campbell being a tight end, they have no love for tight ends, makes no sense to me. But however, I'm okay with Khalid Kancey.
Kancey or Porter? Kancey or Porter?
Kancey. There's a lot of cornerback depth.
Correct.
You don't have to reach for a corner early. Yes, I'm okay with passing on.
We get to the second round, and some people that have gone. Jack Campbell's off the board. Josh Downs, Hendon Hooker is off the board. Tight end Darnell Washington, Jahmyr Gibbs is off the board, and Jalen Hyatt, another wide receiver, off the board. So at this point, you go DJ Turner, who's been rising throughout draft rankings.
Yep.
You have Sam Laporta, the tight end from Iowa. I have a thing against Iowa tight ends, obviously.
Me too. Kinda.
We went Steve Avila last time, and I feel like that's the pick still. We need offensive line help.
I agree. I still want to see them shore up them guard positions.
Yep.
Steve Avila is the best value at this spot right here. Okay. I will be okay with that.
So that leaves us down to pick 55.
A lot of trenches.
Trenton Simpson, your guy's off the board. Keanu Benton's off the board. Isaiah Folksy's off the board. Julius Brents is off the board. Here's where it starts to get interesting. Do you take a tight end? Do you take Tyreek Stevenson as a corner, and you have literally drafted 3 out of 4 defensive players? Or that's a little early for Dell and for Tillman.
Yeah. Obviously, Tillman probably in like the 3rd or the 4th.
Zach Charbonnet, Devin Achaney.
I don't love taking a running back right here. I just don't. I wouldn't want to.
Let's see who's at that corner position. You have Tyreek Stevenson, DJ Turner. Cam Smith is a suggestion here, but he looks like he is already off of the board.
Is he gone already? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's already off the board. So I'm good with either of the top 2.
Yeah, one of the 2 corners I'm fine with. I feel like they're not going to have to play right away, but you can still use the long-term depth to build them up for a little bit. Yeah, I'd take that. Oh, look at you with the agenda. Go ahead and pick Turner then.
I'm gonna go with Tyreek Stevenson.
Oh, you so phony.
I'm not a homer. I'm not a homer. You cannot claim.
You should have did it.
You cannot claim that I am a homer at this point. Okay, so now here's where again it gets interesting. Nathaniel Dell, decent receiver out of Houston. More cornerbacks, more guards, another defensive interior player. Jordan Battle, the safety. Running back. I don't necessarily love running back here. I think here's where you get your wide receiver.
I think this is it. Yeah, Dell. I think makes the most sense here in this position.
Take Dell.
It's like that.
So far, great our draft so far. We're 3 rounds through it. We got a few more picks left. How are we doing so far?
Feeling the chat? Let me talk. Yeah, talk to us.
We're in round 5. We got 2 picks in round 5. Man, I don't love any of this.
Me neither.
God, this is the worst draft for the Lions. I would double up, is what I would do. I would double up with defensive interior and take Coburn.
At this point, yeah. Like, I see a lot of safeties being mocked to the Lions, and I don't think they need to even address that. Like, barring injury, I think you're set with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
So we went wide receiver in the 3rd round with Nathaniel Dell. So we're not gonna double up on that in round 5.
No.
We may be able to in round 6. I like
Yeah.
doubling up on a defensive interior.
Take the trenches.
And we got another pick and 7 picks. So let's see where we're at here.
Yep.
Okay. Now it's free game. We have addressed everything that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Do we take best player available and take the safety from Iowa State, Anthony Johnson? Do we look at a quarterback? Because we only have 3 picks after this. We have this and 2 others.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm intrigued by Dorian Thompson-Robinson at this spot right here. Not gonna hold you. I do want them to find a linebacker. I don't think there's any around this area.
Let's look.
Joe Miller,
Cam Jones.
Yeah, I'm not in love with any of these guys right here. I think it's a good spot for Robinson right here for your backup.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
That's me.
Do not love him, but okay. 183. Corner.
Another
Rajon Wright is who I would take out of this whole group.
Oregon State. What about you? Oh, yes, we can. Yeah.
You just picked the quarterback,
yeah,
or else I would have taken Clayton Tune here. But
that's right. Oh, I'm sorry. You ruined your dream, man.
all good.
Yeah, I'll take Wright out of this group. All
right, and the final pick for. Let's see who's available running back wise, because we do need McIntosh from Georgia. Decent. Muhammad Ibrahim. That's a bit of a reach there. I like McIntosh in the 6th round.
I think that's a good pickup. I don't mind McIntosh there at 6.
Okay. We made our draft.
Okay.
So let's see how we got graded.
Let's see if PFF likes us or not.
They're going to love us.
Chat, what you think? Is this solid?
Do you agree? Oh, B+.
What?
Wow.
How do we get an F with the first pick?
They gave us an F for Tyree Wilson. That's interesting.
PFF drunk. And that don't even make no sense. Like, how does an F for Tyree Wilson make sense?
That is very interesting.
I thought we would get the F for the quarterback pick, maybe the receiver. Then we got an A+ for the receiver pick.
Yeah, we
an
did.
F? Bro, I'm getting my carrot on. Let me write a letter. Are you kidding me? What? An F PFF?
This is kind of crazy. That like completely screwed our.
Is there like reason why do they give us an F for that?
So Dre hates our draft. He said it's terrible, or or their grade is terrible.
Okay.
This again involved no trade scenarios whatsoever. We could have probably traded multiple times because I know there were offers up there.
Of course.
To Ricky's point here, maybe they think Aiden and Houston is enough. I don't think they take current roster in when it's grades. It's just average draft position, where they have them ranked on their big board and where you selected them is how they're going to grade this. Tyree Wilson being an F at 6, it kind of fits the narrative that we've kind of been pushing, that this is settled. It's settling in a way.
But I don't think we did, honestly. If Anderson was gone and Carter was gone, he was gone at 5. Like, how are we settling by taking the next best D lineman at that point? And then you give an A for the Cansey pick. Like, I don't even understand that.
The only
what?
Cansey at 18 is an A, but the only thing that maybe makes more sense at 6, even though I hate to say it, and it's going to be part of the show tomorrow, so make sure you tune in at 5, is drafting Christian Gonzalez at 6. But I do not want a corner at 6. We are being requested to do one more. You want to do one more?
Yeah, man, I'm mad about this. Bro.
I'm mad about it too.
No, come on.
Let's do it, and then we'll.
You got it, Colt.
Yeah, Colt, we're on it. Here we go. Okay. Lions at 6, 7 rounds, fast. Here, it's gonna come at you fast though, Colt. So be ready. Okay, start draft. No trades. All right. So Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Carter, Anthony Richardson.
Oh my gosh! Now we're right back in the same.
Again.
We're right back in the same conundrum
again, except for this time, Devin Witherspoon's on the board.
Carter went 3 and Anderson went 5. Oh my goodness!
I don't love this, man.
Listen, right back in the same position because Tyree's not off the board again. I don't want another F.
But
You want to do?
we
You
have
want
to
to do Witherspoon just to see?
yeah, we have. I mean, listen. As much as I'm going to probably throw something through something else, if this happens on Thursday night, I feel like this is what's going to happen on
Me
Thursday
too.
night.
My
So
heart is set for it.
we'll just go with Devin Witherspoon there. He's a good corner. It's
Man,
going to be fine.
it'll make Kirby Joseph happy.
It'll
Get his
make
ultimate.
Joseph happy. So Miles Murphy, Joey Porter Jr. off the board again, even though we don't need a corner now. Bijan gone at 10 to the Eagles. Tyree Wilson went 8. Lucas Van Ness went to pick before us. So, do you take defensive interior with Cansey, or do you take offensive line with Wright or Broderick Jones?
No, I'm sticking with Cansey at this point. I really think Cansey's going to be a baller wherever he goes.
Okay.
And if we can get him, yeah, I would take that. Ah, okay. So we open up some different options now.
So now we have some different options here. We don't have to go corner at 48 like we did last time.
Right.
I, again, am going to stick to my guns and say no wide receivers until this pick down here at 55 at the earliest.
Okay.
To me, there's only one answer that is correct here.
It's that linebacker from Iowa.
It's the linebacker from Iowa,
That's it.
Jack Campbell.
I'm with that. I like Jack Campbell.
All right. Yeah. Case says mentally prep for Witherspoon. We are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even mentally. It's also emotionally prepping for Witherspoon.
Yes.
It's the whole kit and caboodle here because that is most likely what's going to happen. Witherspoon or Gonzalez, who's better? There's some people that say Christian Gonzalez is the best draft prospect in this entire draft.
That's a bold take. He's shot up a lot of mocks, but I don't know. It's hard to say because neither of us are in love with the idea of taking a quarter this early. No. So it's kind of hard to say. But I can see it for one.
We have 6 picks left.
Yep.
We have drafted a corner, a defensive interior lineman, and a linebacker. So we have gone all defense.
Okay.
The question is, do we double down on linebacker to prove that Anzalone doesn't need to step on the field anymore?
You're going full villain mode completely.
Yeah, nobody knows what it means, but I'll wear the sweatshirt.
Oh my gosh.
Or do we go? I don't.
I think
Dell's there again. I think it's early for him. Could go tight end here. Could go corner again. Could go running back with Zach Charbonnet.
I think this is where we run it back with Dell. I know I talked highly of Laporta.
We took Dell. The reason we got such a high grade is because we took him at 81.
Because we got him so low. Oh,
we got him at 81.
At this point at 55.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not bad value. I would say it's still pretty good value at this point. It's only in the second round.
I mean, he's 5'8".
Yeah, I'm not in love with tiny pick. Okay, fine.
Okay. So do we want to go with an edge player here? Tuli Lopo?
Yeah, I'll go the value of the position over the play. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, because Trenton Simpson, I just want to show you this too. Your boy Trenton Simpson.
He went right before I was sick.
Before.
Trent, I want Trent so bad.
Okay, we're at 81 in the third round. You got Marvin Mims, decent option out of Oklahoma. You got Michael Wilson out of Stanford. Tyjae Spears out of Tulane. If you want to go, because I mean, what did we do at 55? Yeah, we've gone all defense through our first 5 picks.
Yeah, we got to open up at some point. We got a guard in the last.
So you got Tucker Kraft, a tight end out of South Dakota State. Marvin Mims. You could draft the Stanford quarterback here, even though I would rather get somebody in the later rounds at quarterback.
Gosh, this one is tough.
It's one of these 3. It's Tank, Tyjae, or Marvin Mims.
I think I will go with Mims at this point.
Yep,
I don't think I will go with a tight end.
Get that wide receiver need out and gone.
I feel like we were getting blasted on this one too.
Yeah, we probably are. Okay, so here we go. At 152, I'm going to make a case for my guy from Michigan, Oluwatimi, because he was great last year. Interior offensive lineman, can play, guard center. I think this is the pick here.
I'm okay with that because
Okay.
Ragnow spent a lot of time hurt last season, and he was shuffling positions. So let's get him some help. I like that.
Okay, now we are into round 5, second pick of round 5. You got 2 running backs on the board.
Okay.
You got another guard. We don't need another wide receiver. You do have a safety sitting up here.
I'm leaning either the safety or the quarterback again, but oh man, even Rodney Hickman out on my. You want to? Yeah, okay.
Safety.
Let's do it. Let's do that.
Okay. You don't draft with the depth chart. Remember that.
That's true.
Brad said you don't draft with the depth chart.
Right.
Okay, which means now here we are. You could get Payne Durham, who has jumped up draft boards at tight end. Could get your quarterback. Could get another corner.
I don't think they need the OD on corner. I think they're gonna do what they do, whatever with Witherspoon.
Could get your running back.
You could get a running back.
All of them are here again.
You take a quarterback or a running back right here. I feel like they need a quarterback more than a running back at this point. I know it's not focusing on the depth chart, but at this point, it's the 6th round, so
yeah,
they need some help at that position.
All right, we'll go back to Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Okay, you don't want to do Clayton?
No, he's rated higher. We'll go with best player available. 194. I don't
like you don't like any of these.
I don't. You know what? I know exactly what.
What do you think?
Jake Moody, the freaking kicker.
Oh, he ain't been taken up yet. I heard somebody on 97.1 say take him 1st round last week.
No,
Jesus. I'd take him right here at this point.
All right.
Go ahead. Take Moody.
Let's see how it goes.
Put your drink back up. Put your go back up.
We got 2 Michigan guys this time. Go blue.
Grading our draft. Come on, PFF.
A-. Yeah, we got an F for Jake Moody.
Oh my God, they just couldn't help but give us an F.
but overall, that's a better draft.
Absolutely.
This first 4, everything else after that is what it is. The first 4 is what is good about this draft.
Yeah, I'll live with Witherspoon in the first pick. If you're getting Cansey and a linebacker, whether it's Campbell or Trenton Simpson, I'm fine with that. I'll live with it in the first pick.
All right, well, that is the last mock draft you're going to see from us for a long time. Thank God. Oh, everybody's mock drafted out at this point. I completely understand that.
Yes.
But we had to get one more in before the draft. Eric and I will be with you Thursday night with Dylan from TikTok. If you're on TikTok and following Detroit Sports Nation, you will see him all over the place because he's killing it over there. Yeah. So make sure that you are tuned in Thursday night around 8 o'clock because we're going to be live reacting to everything that happens. And here's what is guaranteed. There's 2 things, really. One, it's going to be one heck of a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, it's going to be a circus. Oh. The entire draft night is going to be an entire circus. So make sure that you're here. Make sure you're tuned in. Make sure you're interacting because it's going to be 4+ hours of bedlam.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And it's going to be a guaranteed good time with your 2 favorite Detroit sports hosts. He's Eric Vincent. I'm AJ Riley. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight and dropped comments over there for us. We will see you guys tomorrow at 5 for our do's and don'ts for the Lions draft. And then live Thursday night for the first round of the NFL draft. Y'all be safe. Have a great night. And we'll see